Chapter 829, Evening Feast 18. I lied to you? That is total nonsense. Who does not know that the Grandmaster Hai Rong has stopped treating people? Sponsored Content Remove Ads. Hai Rong was different from Chen Kuan. Chen Kuan was willing to stay in the chief manor and occasionally treat some of his acquaintances. However, Hai Rong would never treat anyone without a special reason, even if that person was close to him. Luo Fei was such a fool to believe Qin Xiaoye. Qin Xiaoye. Luo Fei had wholeheartedly trusted Qin Xiaoyu, but it turned out that Qin Xiaoyu was lying. He had even broken Luo Li's heart because of her. Luo Li was so heartbroken and would never forgive Luo Fei again. Luo Fei, I don't want to harm you. I had felt sorry for you before. However, since you have done this to me, don't blame me for being ruthless. The corner of Qin Xiaoye's lips curved into a sneer. Sponsored Content Remove Ads. Manor Master, Luo Fei told me that this ginseng fruit was extremely cheap when he bought it. It turns out that he is such a cheapskate that he had bought a highly toxic violet leaf ginseng fruit. He had nearly killed the manor lady. Please don't let him off so easily. Ji Yusha had slowly regained his senses. Ji Yusha would buy the idea that Luo Fei was deceived into buying a fake ginseng fruit. As Luo Fei was not a good observer, it was natural that he had gotten cheated. However, he would never believe that Luo Fei was a cheapskate. Even an ordinary people knew that the 1000 odds ginseng fruit did not come cheap. Luo Fei was not a fool. He would not do that. Idiot. When you cursed, inwardly. Qin Xiaoye was too presumptuous and had made such a foolish mistake. She did not only fail to make Luo Fei a scapegoat, but she was also digging her own grave. Sponsored Content Remove Ads. No matter what, when you must not let Qin Xiaoye get the entire Qin family involved in this. Check this lady's identity when we get back. She must die. Qin Li's eyes were fixed on Feng Ruqing, his gaze darkened. If not for Feng Ruqing, Ji Yue would have eaten the ginseng fruit. Ji Yusha would lose his mind and Luo Fei would have been made a scapegoat. Qin Li had never thought that Feng Ruqing knew spirit herb quite well. She could tell the difference between 1000 odds ginseng fruit and violet leaf ginseng fruit. Moreover, she was so close to Qin Chen. Hence, Feng Ruqing must die. Sponsored Content Remove Ads. You said that Luo Fei had bought this violet leaf ginseng fruit because it was cheap. Over and over again, Ji Yusha sneered. His eyes were blazing with fury. That is true. He has nearly hurt young lady Ji Yu because of this. Seeing Ji Yusha getting more and more furious, Qin Xiaoye raised her chin. Ji Yusha's lips curved into a sinister sneer. Even if Qin Xiaoye was telling the truth, Luo Fei was a cheapskate. The violet leaf ginseng fruit did not come cheap. If someone wanted to deceive Luo Fei, he could have used a cheaper spirit herb. Why would he use the violet leaf ginseng fruit? Luo Fei. Just as the tense atmosphere was reaching its climax, an aged voice spoke. Luo Fei looked up. A guard could be seen escorting the Luo family's old lady, who was walking with a crutch, into the courtyard. Mother, why are you here? Luo Fei panicked and rushed over to help the old lady. His eyes were filled with regret. Luo Li too rushed up to the old lady. Her face darkened. Perhaps, she was still mad at Luo Fei, who was still defending Qin Xiaoye until now. However, in the end, Qin Xiaoye had pushed him away without any hesitation. Luo Fei felt really miserable. Bastard. Burning with anger, the old lady brutally brought her crutch down on Luo Fei's head. Why did you leave in such a hurry this morning? You have forgotten the gift for young lady Ji Yu. I am here to send this to you. Chapter 830, I have taken the gift. Stunned, Luo Fei was lost in wonder. Sponsored Content Remove Ads. As soon as Luo Fei finished his words, he looked at the box in the old lady's hand. It was very similar to the box he had gifted to Ji Yue. However, Luo Fei had brought the 1000 odds ginseng fruit together with him when he had left the Luo family. Why would there be another one in the old lady's hand? Feng Ruqing narrowed her eyes. Qin Chen's words flashed through her mind. She suddenly realized something. She walked to Qin Chen and whispered to him, "Did you do this? If you like it, I could do it more often in the future." Qin Chen smiled, brightly. There is no need. I don't want anyone around me to get hurt. Fortunately, Feng Ruqing was here this time. Otherwise, Gue would have died. Mother, the thing in your hand is… Luo Fei stared at the box, dazed. Sponsored content remove ads. I thought you want to give this to young lady Gu. Originally, I wanted to put a few needles on your bed to stab you, but I found this thing underneath your bed. Why would you put a spirit herb under your bed? No wonder you forgot to bring this with you. The old lady snorted. The spirit herb was under my bed. Stunned, Luo Fei did not even notice that his mother had said that she wanted to stab him with needles. When did I put a spirit herb under my bed? Luo Fei was lost in wonder. Luo Fei took the box and opened it before everyone's eyes. A baby-shaped glistening fruit laid inside the box and a sweet-smelling aroma lingered in the air. What? Qian Kuan snatched the box from Luo Fei's hands. A look of disbelief and shock crept into his eyes. This is the real 1000 odds ginseng fruit. Sponsored content remove ads. It turned out that the old lady of the Luo family had sent over the real 1000 odds ginseng fruit that Luo Fei wanted to gift Gue. Why would there be 2000 odds ginseng fruits? Moreover, one of it was highly toxic. Luo Fei's hand trembled. He did not know what was happening. Could it be that Luo Fei's mother had known what happened to Luo Fei and had bought another 1000 odds ginseng fruit in order to save him? That was impossible. She could never get a real 1000 odds ginseng fruit in such a short time. Why would there be 2000 odds ginseng fruits? Sponsored content remove ads. Now, everything was clear. Someone wanted to harm Gue and make the Luo family a scapegoat. It was such a good trick that killed two birds with one stone. However, why would that person put the spirit herb in Luo Fei's chamber? Rumor had it that Qin Xiaoye had moved into the Luo family recently and was staying together with Luo Fei. At this time, everyone stared at Qin Xiaoye's face, as if wanting to find something in her face. Stunned, Qin Xiaoye's mind went blank. Her eyes were fixed on the spirit herb in the box, her heart skipped a beat. That is impossible. The 1000 odds ginseng fruit should not be in the chamber. Qin Xiaoye had buried the 1000 odds ginseng fruit. Before Qin Xiaoye could finish her words, she quickly came to her senses and realized what she had just said out loud. As the night wore on, the courtyard was eerily silent. Every word that Qin Xiaoye had said echoed in everyone's ears for a long time. Luo Fei could not believe what he had just heard and stared at Qin Xiaoye. Even when Luo Fei had found out that Qin Xiaoye had lied to him about the Grandmaster Herong, he had only felt disappointed. He did not lose his mind as he was doing now, as he knew that Qin Xiaoye had cheated him into marrying her. Now, Qin Xiaoye wanted to harm the entire Luo family. They had never thought that Qin Xiaoye would poison Gue because of this. Qin Li, you have set me up. Qin Xiaoye clenched her fists tightly. Would Qin Xiaoye have tried to kill Gue because of that? It was Qin Li and Wen Yu who had asked her to do this. Why must Qin Xiaoye bear all the responsibilities alone? You are the one, Qin Xiaoye, what have I always told you? When you make a mistake, face the consequence. You wanted to make Luo Fei a scapegoat just now. Now you want to push all the responsibilities to the Qin family. There is no answer between Gue and the Qin family. Why would the Qin family want to harm her? Qin Li's face was icy cold. In the Qin family, Qin Fei had always been kind and had never gossiped about others. On the contrary, Qin Xiaoye had always been messing around and stirring up trouble. Naturally, everyone trusted Qin Li's words more. 1. Chapter 832. Qin Xiaoye's remorse. Qin Xiaoye's face stiffened as she looked at Qin Li, who seemed cold, in disbelief. Sponsored content remove ads. She seemed to be sobbing as her body slightly trembled. Why are you treating me like Wei? Why? It's because of you guys, and it's all your fault. If it weren't because of you guys, I would not have fallen into such a state. At the moment, Qin Xiaoye finally understood that what a stupid mistake she had made this time. However, even if she told them that it was her sister-in-law who had put her up to this, would anyone believe in her? No. In comparison to her brother's reputation, her brother always had the good name of being a kind person. Therefore, nobody would believe any of her words. Qin Xiaoye. The corners of Qin Li's lips lifted into a sneer as he looked at Qin Xiaoye expressionlessly. Your mistake is not forgivable to everyone. You wanted to hurt Lady Jiyu just because of some spat. What other mistakes would you make in the future? For Tianshan manners' sake, today, I will not spare you. Qin Xiaoye clenched her fists tightly and gritted her teeth so hard that blood oozed out from her gums. She could not help but break out in tears, feeling sad and desolate as her face was soaked in tears. Sponsored Content Remove Ads. She slowly turned around and looked at Luo Fei. He was the guy who really loved her from the bottom of his heart and treated her like a treasure. Thus, due to his trust in her, she had almost caused him to fall into the abyss, to his own demise. In this world, perhaps no other man would treat her better than Luo Fei anymore. Back then, after her father found out about the man she had fallen for, the man's first reaction was to beg for his life and swear never to see her again. Only Luo Fei. Just now, when he wanted to speak up for her, she had put him in trouble by listening to others' slanderous words. Perhaps, as the old saying goes, the dying man speaks well as he speaks from his heart. Sponsored Content Remove Ads. Every moment she had been through in her life flashed in her eyes. Only then she found out how stupid she had been living her life all the while. If she were not born into the Qin family, she would not have developed such a selfish character. Be it her father or sister-in-law, she was taught that every man has to live for himself. If she were not born into the Qin family, she would not care to be in a well-matched marriage and would have been married a long time ago. Also, she would not have become infertile because of the miscarriage. She did not have any intention to hurt anyone's life before. This time, her sister-in-law had threatened her because she had something on her. Indeed, she was desperate to get married and leave the Qin family. Still, she had never wished to destroy the Luo family. Sponsored Content Remove Ads. She only thought that she was only doing Luo Fei some damage that was not fatal. However, she was too silly as she did not realize her sister-in-law intended to harm Jiu. There could be no turning back after that as she could only give up on Luo Fei and put herself away from this. Qin Xiaoye closed her eyes in agony. The Qin family had taught her selfishness, but they had never taught her how to respond to others. Aunt. Qin Fei regained her composure from the shock and said in deep resentment, "Why did you do this? To be so cruel just because of some disagreements?" Qin Xiaoye was rendered silent as the corners of her lips twitched. Back then, Qin Fei was an exception as she would always put herself in others' shoes. However, she was still a member of the Qin family. She eventually got influenced as she could not differentiate if someone's care was genuine or fake. Feng Ruqing and Qin Chen were both the calmest person present. It was very adorable of Qin Chen to bring Feng Ruqing a chair as he was afraid that Feng Ruqing was exhausted from standing. Blimey. Jiu hurried herself to carry a plate of fruits out. She took an apple and elegantly wiped the apple with a handkerchief before she handed it over to Feng Ruqing. Chapter 833. She smiled so widely as soon as Feng Ruqing accepted the apple. So much so that she did not even realize that she was acting like a little servant. Sponsored Content Remove Ads. The corners of the nearby Jiusha's eyebrows twitched as he felt a twinge of jealousy inside his heart. His daughter had never handed him any fruit before, but now she was doing it for a girl. He would have cried on the spot if they were not at an event. Xiao Li. Qin Fei looked at Qin Xiaoye in agony. In her weak and delicate state, she turned around and walked slowly, seemingly like she could be blown away by the wind any time. Xiao Li, she's my aunt. I really disapprove of her action, but I can't leave her alone. I beg you, would you please intercede for her? Sponsored Content Remove Ads. She had already noticed that Jiu was treating Feng Ruqing differently, just now. Also, Feng Ruqing was in a good relationship with Luo Li. So, if Luo Li interceded with Feng Ruqing, perhaps this matter would be settled. She did not like this aunt, but she could not do anything as after all, she was still her aunt. Her father did not care about her aunt, but being her niece, she just could not wash her hands off of this. Luo Li, who was standing next to old Lady Luo, obediently and said, "Lady Qin, have you pled for the wrong person?" Qin Fei froze. That was the first time Laya was being so indifferent to her. Was Laya really mad? Sponsored content remove ads. 1-inch Laya, you're the only one who is capable of helping my aunt now. I know that my aunt shouldn't have taken your father away. But please help her. As long as you help her, she promises that she will never bother your father anymore. With sympathy filling Qin Fei's eyes, she extended her hand as she wanted to grab Luo Li's hand. However, Luo Li shrank away and avoided her hand. Qin Fei's hand froze midair, her face paled and her body trembled even more. Perhaps what Luo Li had done had really hurt her. She slowly turned around and looked at Luo Fei. "Master Luo, my aunt has been with you and has suffered a lot all these years. Can't you help her a little? Laya has always been listening to your advice. Even though my aunt has done something wrong, still, she's a woman." The whole chief manor was deadly silent after she was done talking in the trembling and aggrieved tone. Everyone was treating Qin Xiaoye with disdain now. However, all they did was to praise Luo Li after they saw what Qin Fei had done. Sponsored content remove ads. Within the Qin family, other than Qin Xiaoye, this scum, the rest are fine. Indeed, Qin Li, as the head of the family, is righteous as he places justice above everything, including his loyalty to his family. Qin Fei is only a girl, so it's natural for her to be soft in her character. Even if everyone has given up on Qin Xiaoye, she still wants to speak for her. In fact, everyone could not help but glance at Qin Chen as they were talking. As for the Qin family's scum, besides Qin Xiaoye, there was still a guy like him in there. An adopted son who relied on the Qin family and lived a luxurious life. He would rather help others to bully his gentle and kind sister and not to pay single respect to his foster parents. Of course, nobody dared to point that out loud. Or else, they would end up like the middle-aged man who was thrown out just now. Nobody would ever dare to provoke Feng Ruqing in front of Gue. Luo Fei slowly closed his eyes as he saw Qin Fei's imploring eyes and then Qin Xiaoye's pale face. Luo Li was still standing next to the old lady without saying anything. The old lady did not interrupt as well as she seemed to be curious to find out if he still wanted to stick up for her. Luo Fei slowly opened his eyes after a while. He did not look as troubled as he was at the beginning since he had regained his composure. Chapter 834. It's Manor Master's business to deal with this matter as I'm only an outsider. I can't do anything about this. Sponsored content remove ads. It was not that easy to let go of the years of feelings that he had for Qin Xiaoye. However, he could not forgive her for hurting an innocent person's life for the sake of a small matter. If he let her stay, he could not be sure that his mother and Laya would be safe and sound without being harmed. Moreover, he had no way of forgiving for wanting to harm the Luo family. Back then, he was blind as to regard her as an innocent and kind person without knowing what kind of evil heart she was hiding beneath her appearance. Luo Fei turned around and looked at Luo Li as soon as he finished speaking. His eyes were filled with the intent to flatter. Luo Li humphed coldly and turned her head around without even caring to look at Luo Fei. Sponsored content remove ads. Her father was too stubborn and too stupid since she had already told him several times that she saw what Qin Xiaoye had done. However, her father would rather believe in Qin Xiaoye but not in his daughter. She could forgive his foolish behavior if her father chose to stay with Qin Xiaoye for her grandmother, which annoyed her. However, his mistrust toward her had totally broken her heart. Liar. Qin Fei could do nothing but continue to stare at Luo Li sorrowfully. You're so kind that you would not be able to bear to do nothing to save my aunt from ruin. Liar, I beg you, would you please save her? The liar I know is always kind as she's not the kind of person who would leave someone in the lurch. Would you please help for I will beg you on my knees. Her knees slowly bent as tears filled her face. Many of the men present felt that it was painful to see her in tears. They wished they could take Luo Li's place so badly and agree to anything she asked for. Sponsored content remove ads. They would promise her anything as long as she would stop crying or speak in such a pathetic manner. Fei. Wen Yu's face distorted. Qin Li blocked her way just as she wanted to go forward. He shook his head and said, with a gentle smile, "Let her go. Feiya would not lose her reputation by doing so. On the contrary, it would make the world like her more. In comparison, Luo Li, who had a heart of stone, would be hated by the world." Xiao Qing. Gue glanced at Luo Li and asked, "Shall we help her a little with her trouble?" Sponsored Content Remove Ads. It was impossible for Gue to not know well of Luo Li's disposition. Therefore, sometimes, she disliked Luo Li. Why must she give something that she liked to another person? And why must she be tolerant when she was the one who got bullied? She never liked a weakling. She only liked people who would punch anyone right away when they did not see eye to eye, just like Xiao Qing. Nope. Feng Ruqing took the last bite of the apple. She could deal with this on her own. Gue swiftly handed over a plate of grapes that she had just finished peeling to Feng Ruqing as soon as she saw her finishing the apple. Jiusha was speechless. He could not help but pressed his palm to his chest. He felt so sad that his tears flowed backward and into his heart. Luo Li looked at Qin Feiya, who was kneeling in front of him. She looked even colder now. Qin Feiya still wanted to morally coerce her at this point, just like what she had done for the past many years. Qin Feiya, she didn't want to hurt your parents or your family. On the contrary, she's your aunt, and therefore it makes you think everything she has done is forgivable. What about me, then? Luo Li sneered and continued, "To be bullied by her, I deserved it. To get scolded by her, I deserved it. To be framed by her, does my Luo family deserve that too?" Qin Feiya's body stiffened even more. Chapter 835. Previously, she only needed to say a few words and Luo Li would listen to her. Why did it not work this time? Sponsored Content Remove Ads. The hot water was spilled on my hands. The scars on my hands are still visible. She raised the back of her hand. Even though she purposely did not use the spirit herb to remove the scar. Although the scar had faded a little, one could still see the pain she had suffered at that time. Qin Feiya, you said that you are my friend. What were you doing? Knowing that I was scalded by the boiling water, you still held on to me tightly and refused to let me go. You keep on forcing me to accept Qin Xiaoya's apology. Qin Feiya was bewildered. I didn't know that you were hurt so badly. Sponsored Content Remove Ads. Okay. You didn't know that I was hurt so badly. If you are really my friend, you should definitely ask me where I was hurt and whether I needed treatment. But you didn't. You just refused to let me go. Qin Feiya remained silent while Luo Li criticized her. One was her aunt and the other one was her friend. She just wanted to resolve the misunderstanding between them. Was there anything wrong with that? At that time, it was Xiao Qing who has appeared and took me away. I have only known her for a day. She could see the pain that I was enduring with just a glance, like a hand that pulled me out of the abyss of despair. Therefore, how could Qin Feiya be comparable to Xiao Qing? Now, not only does she want to destroy the Luo family, but she also wants to hurt young Lady Jiu. It's ridiculous. Everyone in Tianshan Manor knows that young Lady Jiu is Manor Master Gus' dearest daughter. If you want to ask for forgiveness, you should go and find them yourselves. You are just a coward. You are afraid that they don't accept your apology and that it might affect the Qin family. You just want me to help persuade Manor Master Jiu and young Lady Jiu. Sponsored Content Remove Ads. Qin Feiya, what makes you think that I would do so much for the Qin family? Qin Feiya was growing increasingly panicked after hearing Luo Li's words. She did not dare to find Jiusha, so she wanted to ask Luo Li to help. But Luo Li was different after all. Did Jiu not like Feng Ruqing? Luo Li had a good relationship with Feng Ruqing. So, she might be able to help Qin Xiaoya ask for forgiveness from them. Sponsored Content Remove Ads. If she was Luo Li, she would not be like this. She would certainly lend a helping hand if her friend needed help. And you? Luo Li glanced at the people of the neutral family with a sarcastic smile. If you guys sympathize with Qin Feiya, then you should help her plead for Qin Xiaoya. Only then, I will look up to you all as heroes. Those men who had initially criticized Luo Li were startled. They subconsciously took a few steps back. Pleading for Qin Xiaoye in front of Ji Yushe? Was it not like asking them to die? Ji Yue blinked and smiled. I realize that she is different from the others. If she has really sought for your help, then Xiao Qing would definitely not be friends with such a person. Right. This was the first time that Ji Yue had changed her impression of Luo Li and praised her. Yes, Feng Ruqing nodded, calmly. But she won't. Luo Li would not be soft-hearted toward Qin Fei, let alone those who had hurt her. Ji Yue's face was red. She lowered her head down shyly. Ji Yushe so happened to witness this scene. His eyes twitched a few times. Dear daughter, don't flatter yourself. If Luo Li really pleaded for Qin Xiaoye, not only Feng Ruqing would not be friends with her, but also the others, too. Chapter 836. So, she did not really do that for you. Sponsored Content Remove Ads. Of course, if Ji Yushe dared to say this, Ji Yue would desperately fight him. He thought about it and managed to swallow the words. He glanced at Feng Ruqing, bitterly. His eyes seemed to blame Feng Ruqing for taking away his baby girl's heart. Feng Ruqing was stunned. Chenna, I did not offend Tianshan Manner's manor master, right? Why did she feel that the manor master was staring at her so sharply? Was the manor master gay? Did he like Nanxian? Did he hate her because of her relationship with Nanxian? Sponsored Content Remove Ads. Well, it was possible. Unfortunately, the state preceptor liked women. Juming seemed to like men. Should she introduce him to Ji Yushe? They might end up being a great couple. Ji Yushe had regained his gaze from Feng Ruqing. He then smiled. The daughter of the Qin family is really kind. Qin Fei's maid Liu Xia's heart ached when she saw her young lady had been kneeling since just now. When she heard what Ji Yushe had said and seen his smile, she quickly lifted Qin Fei from the ground. Young lady, the manor master is praising you. She could not help but glare at Luo Li proudly when she said this. Sponsored Content Remove Ads. She did not have to say too much. Anyone could see her young lady's kindness, even the manor master was soft-hearted to her. Thank you, manor. Qin Fei bent down weakly. Ji Yushe spoke again before Qin Fei could thank him. Young lady Qin is really kind. You used morality to threaten a girl and let her take all the blame. Why? Can't she cry or say it out loud if she was aggrieved? Why did she have to listen to you? Why should she accept the apology of the person who has hurt her? Qin Fei's smile froze. She felt very uncomfortable since her waist was not completely bent. Sponsored Content Remove Ads. What made it more intolerable was the shame. If the manor master wanted to speak, why not finish all at once? Why embarrass her? Furthermore, what makes you think that I will let Qin Xiaoye go if young lady Luo pleads for her? Anyone who hurts my daughter must die, and those who plead for her should also die. In this case, will you still force young lady Ji Yu to plead for her? Ji Yushe's smile slowly disappeared as he looked at Qin Xiaoye with a condescending attitude. Qin Xiaoye's face grew even paler. He clenched his fists tightly. The manor master had already spoken. What else could she say? If she asked Luo Li for help, would it not make others think that she wanted to force her to death? But she just wanted to let her aunt live. Even if her aunt was guilty, it would still be better than dying. She really did not have other motives. Was she wrong? Qin Li's eyes were getting cold. He just remained silent as he faced Ji Yushe. Manor master. When you could not bear to see her daughter being criticized. My child, Fei did it out of kindness. Why did you not let her go? Why are you so merciless toward a girl? Ji Yushe sneered. Merciless? I can't compare myself with Qin Fei. You know that she is a girl, too. What about the girl from the Luo family? If young lady Luo has really promised to help her, I will not let the Luo family go. If she refuses, then the younger generation in Tianshan Manor will isolate her. Why does she have to take responsibility when it was not her fault? He really hated those women who would always cry and would not do anything. Those women who pretended to be delicate and weak but actually were pushing you to hell, saying that everything they were doing was for your sake. 1. Chapter 837. Qin Fei's face was getting paler. The Manor Master's words were like an invisible hand driving her, a weak girl, into the abyss, eternally doomed. Sponsored content remove ads. The people of the neutral family stopped pitying Qin Fei and stood around, awkwardly. No one said a word on her behalf. The neutral family and the Qin family did not dare to say anything at all. Wen Yu seemed to have something to say, but she stopped short. Qin Fei then turned to look at Qin Li. However, Qin Li's face was cold. He seemed to be very dissatisfied with Qin Fei's actions. She must make sure that everything was all right if she wanted to maintain her reputation. If she had even a little fault, she might damage the Qin family's reputation. Sponsored content remove ads. Qin Fei was about to cry. She slowly turned her head and looked at Qin Chen again. The young man still wore a cold expression. But he smiled a little when he looked at Feng Ruqing. His smile was like a thorn that pierced deep into Qin Fei's heart. She was disappointed and bitter. Manor Master, this time, it was my fault. Qin Fei gently closed her eyes. She only opened her eyes after a while. I shouldn't plead for my aunt, neither should I get Liar involved. What you have said is right. I will not do it again in the future. All right. Ji Yusha could not really be too fussy with a little girl. He was fine with anything as long as she admitted that she was wrong. Sponsored content remove ads. However, it's not me that you should apologize to. It's the girl from the Luo family. You have almost caused her to look like a sinner in everyone's eyes. Actually, Ji Yusha had helped Luo Li because she was Feng Ruqing's friend, not because Ji Yue liked Feng Ruqing. He just could not stand Qin Fei's irrational actions. Indeed, Ji Yusha had a personal motive. But the Qin family had gone too far this time. Qin Fei was also a person who did not know how to distinguish right from wrong. Sponsored content remove ads. Qin Fei slowly let go of her tightly clenched fists. Her face was pale and she looked ghastly. Liar, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. I thought you had a good relationship with them and that nothing would happen. I really didn't mean to hurt you. Qin Fei was still not sincere. From the beginning until the end, she had just wanted to make herself look good. Aren't you good with each other? So, it is normal for me to have such an idea. I am innocent. If I had known that the Manor Master would be so indifferent toward personal affairs, I wouldn't have asked for your help. Anyway, I am not wrong. Luo Li felt annoyed. She could not care less than to talk to Qin Fei and simply wanted to ignore her. Bitch. Ji Yue snorted, coldly. Qin Fei's face was extremely dark. However, she could not do anything due to Ji Yue's identity. Ji Yue was delighted when she saw that Qin Fei had not spoken. Father, just drive these bitches out. Don't let them interrupt me from communicating with Xiao Qing. This Qin Fei is weak and ugly. I'm worried about giving myself an eyesore from them. No matter what, Qin Fei was still the #1 beauty in Tianshan Manor. Now, Ji Yue was criticizing for being ugly. Everyone's gaze fell onto the girl who was eating grapes next to Ji Yue. Indeed, Qin Fei was uglier than the girl. After Ji Yue had lost weight, she was no less pretty than Qin Fei. The owner of the title, the #1 beauty, might have been passed on to another person. Chapter 838. Qin Fei lifted her pale face. Her body was so weak and shaking as if she was unable to bear such grievances. Sponsored content remove ads. Ji Yue smirked. Manor Lady Qin, didn't you ask me to be tolerant of people? So, when it happens to you, can't you bear it, can you? Well, I think the Qin family's location is great. Do you mind giving the land to Xiao Qing and allowing her to build a manor there? I also really like your clothes. Why don't you just take them off and give them to me? Since you are so kind and gentle, I bet you won't reject my requests. Everyone was speechless. Was Ji Yue a devil? Everyone knew about Qin Fei's gentleness and kindness. Ji Yue was disdained by that. If she was so kind, she should not slap back when others had slapped her. If she was so gentle, she should have given her favorite things to other people. Sponsored content remove ads. Why did she let her friend suffer alone and had even convinced her to let go of her favorite things? Was it just to build a good reputation for herself? It was such a pity that she would only oppose Luo Li when Luo Li was in conflict with other people. She just acted as Luo Li's friend and had always wanted to paint herself as a good person. Therefore, Jiu was also disdained by Luo Li. Why should she listen to Qin Fei? Why should she have to put up with them? Why should she let go of her things just because Qin Fei said so? But that was already in the past. Luo Li's change had allowed Jiu to look at her differently. Only now, she could respect and think better of Luo Li. Jiu did not even look at Qin Fei after making ironic remarks about her but instead looked at Feng Ruqing with a smile. Sponsored content remove ads. Xiao Qing, what do you think about what I have just said? Feng Ruqing stretched herself and said, I'm tired. All right. Jiu smiled while looking up. Father, don't waste any more time. Haven't you seen that my Xiao Qing is tired? Just solve the problem and kick those unnecessary people out. The feast should start now. Jiusha's heart was twitching. His little devil was not so gentle to anyone else but only to Feng Ruqing. Come and drive the people of the Qin family out. Except for Qin Chen and Qin Xiaoye. Qin Xiaoye must die. As for Qin Chen, sponsored content remove ads. The manor master had lived long enough to sense that this young man had a special relationship with Feng Ruqing. If Qin Chen was driven out, his little devil would surely fight with him desperately in order to defend Feng Ruqing. He could not afford to offend her. 1 inch you don't have to drive us out. We will leave on our own, Qin Li said, coldly. However, Qin Chen is my son. He must follow me. Qin Chen seemed to be indifferent toward Qin Li's words as if he had not heard him. Chenna. Qin Li frowned. Don't you even want to listen to your father? This brat, did he not see that Fei was being bullied? The Qin family's reputation had also been damaged. Nonetheless, he had done absolutely nothing about it. He was truly a white-eyed wolf. After seeing Qin Li's attitude, Jiusha cocked his eyebrows a little. He knew that he should not meddle with the Qin family's matters although he was the manor master. Chenna. Qin Li was very angry, but he must remain calm. Go back with me. Father, Qin Fei pulled at Qin Li's sleeve. She smiled. Although Qin Chen is the adopted son of the Qin family, he has his own will. If he does not want to go back, don't force him. Fei, you are such a stupid child. When you sighed, softly. Your father also cares for Chenna. He has been with the Qin family for many years. The Qin family has a deep affection for him. We are just worried that he would be deceived by others. 1. Chapter 839, Life gradually came back into Qin Fei's pale face. She looked at Qin Chen's cold face. It seemed that she had something to say but stopped herself before doing so for some reason. Sponsored content remove ads. The neutral family who had witnessed this could not help but laugh at it. Was the adopted son of the Qin family rebellious? His family asked him nicely but he was not willing to return home with them. Even Qin Fei who cared for him so much was being hurt by him and she did not dare to persuade him. He was just the adopted son. How could he be so domineering and ungrateful? They were afraid to speak out. If they dared to say anything bad about Qin Chen in front of Feng Ruqing, Jiu would surely raise her fists and punch them in their heads. Chenna. Feng Ruqing stretched out lazily. She then stood up and smiled. Her eyes were full of joy. Would you like to go back with them? Qin Chen said coldly, I will go back but not by following anyone's order. I will go back when I feel like it. He would go back. He would definitely go back. He had not destroyed the Qin family. Sponsored content remove ads. He still had not helped Qing to eradicate her enemies. How could he not go back? He was no longer the weak man he used to be. He would not let himself be wronged by anyone for Qing's sake. Okay. Qin Li said coldly, let's go. After that, he walked out of the Jiu family without looking back. Qin Fei followed closely behind Qin Li. She looked at Qin Chen with her sore eyes before she left and eventually went with her father. but her glance was imprinted in many people's hearts and could not be forgotten for a long time. Sponsored content remove ads. Ching Han. After everyone from the Qin family had left, the girl's indifferent voice sounded in the night. A little cute and lovely loli jumped down from the tree. She was like a bright sun shining the earth. A drooling sound involuntarily sounded. For those who liked little loli, this little girl was so cute and even better than the fairy in the painting. She also had 2 buns and her little face was round. Her eyes were as big as grapes and also looked like the stars. Where does this little girl come from? Why did she hide in a tree? Sponsored content remove ads. Rather than asking why she hides in a tree, shouldn't it be when did she climb up the tree? None of us had noticed about it. Indeed, such a harmless little girl, no one would think too much. This little girl was as pure and innocent as a blank piece of paper. Mother, Ching Han ran into Feng Ruking's arms. Everyone was shocked when they heard her calling Feng Ruqing her mother. So was Luo Li. Was this little girl Feng Ruking's daughter? Did she even have a daughter? Only a beautiful woman like Feng Ruqing could give birth to such a cute and lovely girl. Just that innocent smile that day had already touched many uncles' and aunts' hearts. Pure and innocent. These people must have never seen the true colors of this little devil. Feng Ruqing slightly smirked. I still have something to say before the Gue's birthday feast starts. I don't want to hear anyone saying bad things about Chenna in Tianshan Manor. You must praise him. Praise him. Qin Chen was smiling warmly. He never cared about anyone's words. However, he felt the warmth in his heart when Feng Ruqing protected him. Chapter 840. Have you heard what my mother said? Ching Han left Feng Ruking's arms and turned her head. She frowned, cutely. You are not allowed to say anything bad about Uncle Chen. Otherwise, I will really bite you because I am very fierce. Sponsored content remove ads. Hee hee. Someone laughed. How could a girl who was so soft and cute be fierce? She was more adorable than fierce. Ching Han was really angry. She was really fierce. Why did no one believe her? Believe me, I'm super fierce. I've killed the person who didn't believe me before. Perhaps it was because the neutral family was facing a cute little girl. They were not afraid of her at all. Sponsored content remove ads. A person even laughed provocatively and said, Little girl, if you say that your mother is fierce, we will still believe you, but you are saying. Ching Han's face was still soft and cute, which exuded innocence even when she was angry. My mother is not fierce. My mother is very good. How dare you say that my mother is fierce? Clash. Vines spread from behind little Ching Han like tentacles and immediately tightened themselves around the person. Everyone's face stiffened. Little Ching Han's face was very still cute and lovely under the moonlight, so much so that it made people want to pinch her face. But no one dared to laugh at her. No one dared to take a step closer toward her. Sponsored content remove ads. Because they looked at the vines, which came from the little girl's back. They felt a chill creeping into their hearts from the soles of their feet. It was cold and uncomfortable. Is this little girl a spirit beast? Finally, someone spoke while trembling. Humanized beasts did exist, but it was rarely sighted. Therefore, no one could have linked little Ching Han to a spirit beast. They thought she was just an ordinary little girl. If they knew that this little girl was a spirit beast, they would not have dared to make fun of her even if they were full of guts. Ching Han got even angrier. Sponsored content remove ads. You are the spirit beast. Your whole family is full of spirit beast. Why did everyone treat her like a beast? It was such a shame. Treating Ching Han as a spirit beast was like calling her a dog. Different species were naturally different. This person's words were insulting to Xiao Ching Han. Only Ji Yusha remained silent the whole time. He looked at Ching Han thoughtfully and seemed to have something in his mind. Ching Han. Feng Ruqing saw that Ching Han's mouth was getting bigger again. She patted Ching Han's head and whispered softly, Don't simply go around biting people, or you might get a stomachache. Ching Han's vines instantly loosened. She stood quietly beside Feng Ruqing and held her arms like a good and obedient child. Yes, mother. Usually, if someone saw such a well-behaved child, they would praise the girl for being so well-behaved. However, everyone was scared of her now. No matter how cute the girl was, it was still scary to know that she was a spirit beast and people dared not despise her. Okay, what Xiaoqing had said just now are also my words. You are not allowed to gossip about Qin Chen in the future. Ji Yusha waved his hand. Come, get Qin Xiaoye out and execute her. The feast is about to start. This night was destined to be an unpeaceful night. First, Mu Ling had brought his wife and daughter to the chief manor but was not allowed to enter. Later, the Qin family was driven out of the chief manor. A new storm was bound to set off in Tianshan Manor when the news spread. Chapter 841, The Enemy of All Men v Maiden Xiaoqing. After the dinner feast, Grandmaster Chen Kuan walked toward Feng Ruqing with a smile. You are able to sense the uniqueness of the ginseng fruit at a glance. Do you also research on sprit herbs? Grandmaster Chen Kuan. Gue smiled and walked over without waiting for Feng Ruqing to speak. My Xiaoqing is way more capable than that. She has even given me a medicine that helped me get slimmer. Gue did not mention the name of medicine. Grandmaster Chen Kuan was surprised. He was the same as Grandmaster Hai Rong. They were extremely arrogant. They would not simply do something just because someone asked them to. Hai Rong did save a lot of people's lives before. However, an unfortunate incident had happened and had broken his heart. From then on, he had refused to accept any patients. As for him, he was not willing to heal anyone unless it was someone whom he was familiar with. As a strong man, he had his own pride. But even arrogant and strong men would have a liking for geniuses. To him, the current Feng Ruqing was not only a genius. Therefore, Chen Kun's smile became kinder and gentler as if he was looking at his beloved junior. Maiden Xiaoqing is very talented. I had also wanted to help the young lady to lose some weight, but she had too much fat in her body. I could only use some powerful medicines that would cause physical damage to her body. So, I did not dare to try. Recently, he was surprised when Gue returned with a slimmer figure. He thought Gue was using some powerful spirit herbs to lose weight. He hurriedly diagnosed her, but later found that Gue was fine and healthy. Gue did not tell him anything about it until now. Chen Kuan finally got to know that it was Feng Ruqing's effort. Gue raised her eyebrows proudly as if Chen Kuan was praising her. My Xiaoqing is not only talented in this. Every woman in Liu Yun Kingdom likes her. Gue also added, then Xiaoqing became the enemy of all men in Liu Yun Kingdom. Feng Ruqing was speechless. She did not know whether she should be proud or sad about it. As a woman, she was regarded as the enemy of all men. It seemed that no one had failed more than her. Chen Kun's eyes were shining. He admired and envied her. The enemy of all men. He wanted to be that person, too. Would he be given a chance? What about teaching him some techniques to win a girl's heart? Me for extra chapters. Feng Ruqing's fingers stroked her chin. She groaned. Grandmaster Chen Kuan, I want to ask you something. Yes. You can just ask me anything. I will try to answer them. It would be fine as long as you could tell me how to become the enemy of all men in the world. It's about old Master Mu. She had been in Tianshan Manor for a while. Hence, she had learned about the Mu family. It was said that Mu Ling had started to create chaos everywhere after old Master Mu fell ill. She had also heard that old Master Mu often beat and scolded Chen Qingyang after he went crazy. However, Chen Qingyang had endured all the humiliation and still served him dedicatedly. Chen Qingyang had originally spread these words to make a good reputation for herself. But this news had pleased Feng Ruqing. As the saying went, the enemy of an enemy was a friend. She was extremely happy that old Master Mu beat and scolded Chen Qingyang. Anyway, those who had hurt Suyi and Nanxian should be punished. She was delighted to hear that Chen Qingyang was having a bad time. Chen Kuan was in doubt. He did not understand how Feng Ruqing was related to the Mu family. Why else would she ask about the Mu family? I have diagnosed old Master Mu's condition once. Chen Kuan frowned and smiled helplessly. We have known each other for a long time. To be honest, I have always thought that my medical skills were great, but it turned out that isn't the case. I really didn't know what kind of illness old Master Mu has. Feng Ruqing remained silent. Chen Kuan continued, after that, Chen Qingyang of the Mu family asked the butler to bring me a prescription, which I did not know where she got that from. Old Master Mu was very weak. He was unconscious. That prescription did help to ease his illness for a bit. The old man did recover a little in the past few years. However, he gradually lost his temper and refused to take the medicine. His health has worsened. I don't know how is he now. The Mu family didn't ask me to diagnose him since some time ago. They just let Mu Huan bring Hairong back. Feng Ruqing did not believe that Chen Qingyang would be so kind. In fact, there were people who would render good for evil in this world. That was the case for some people. No matter what you did to her, she would reward you with virtue that would touch your heart. But was Chen Qingyang such a person? Obviously not. She had done a lot of things in order to enter the Mu family. She was obviously the kind of person who would render good for evil. Okay. Feng Ruqing smiled. Sorry for troubling you. Chen Kuan was kind. Although I rarely heal people now, my disciple has opened a medical center in Tianshan Manor. There are many kinds of treatments available there. You can go there anytime if you are free next time. We can sit down and further discuss our medical skills. Feng Ruqing smiled. Okay. This time, Chen Kuan did not say much. He laughed twice and stroked his beard. He then walked into the dark of the night, heading to the chief manor. Me for extra chapters. Feng Ruqing regained her senses after Chen Kun's figure had completely disappeared. She said, heavily, how is Grandmaster Chen Kun's temperament like? Although Gue was a beast since she was young, not all fat people were dumb. On the contrary, many fat people were very smart. She thought for a moment and immediately understood what Feng Ruqing meant. Are you worried that Grandmaster Chen Kuan might be lying? I think he told you the truth. He diagnosed old Master Mu because he has known him for a long time, not because of the Mu family. Furthermore, he is a righteous person. He would not do anything that might ruin his reputation. So, the prescription that the Mu family has brought should have no problem. If the prescription was not the problem, that meant the problem lay with the Mu family. Do me a favor and ask Grandmaster Chen Kuan to write me that prescription. Gue tilted her head. Xiao Qing, are you implying that someone in the Mu family wants to kill old Master Mu? The Gue family's style was a lot easier. The Gue family's internal issues were not that complicated because the only master was Gue and her father. But that did not mean that Gue understood nothing. If someone in the Mu family wanted to harm old Master Mu, there was only one possibility. Chen Qingyang and her children. Xiao Qing, leave it to me. Gue's face darkened. If Xiao Qing had guessed it correctly, then it would only prove that this Mu family was really terrible. Fortunately, she was not married to the Mu family. Otherwise, she might not know what would happen to her after her father died. Feng Ruqing turned to look in the other direction that was exactly facing the Mu family. Her eyes were very cold. Mother, Xiao Qinghan pulled her hand and looked in the direction of the hill behind the chief manor. Feng Ruqing did not speak. She just took Xiao Qinghan and walked into the night after she had said goodbye to Gue. Luo Li had left with the Luo family. Qin Chen had gone back just now. Now, only she and Qing Han were left. Somehow at this moment, she missed the state preceptor so much. She could only think of him in her mind and in her heart. Mother, I have found the thing that summoned me. It is right on the back hill of the chief manor. If we know where it is, it will be easier. Feng Ruqing smiled. We will come to the chief manor again sooner or later. At that time, I will find a way to go to the back hill. All right, Mother. Qing Han smiled brightly. These two people gradually disappeared in the quiet night under the cold moonlight. As soon as Jiu returned to the chief manor, she saw that Jiusha was sitting and waiting for her. There were a lot of gifts from the other families in the hall. However, Jiu did not even so much as glance at those gifts. She just held, tightly, onto the paper that Feng Ruqing had given to her. She stared at Jiusha carefully because she feared that he would snatch the paper from her. Ahem. Jiusha cleared his throat. Did you send away Maiden Xiaoqing? You don't have to be so nervous. Isn't it just a piece of paper? I will not snatch it from you. Listen to me. Put the paper down first. We haven't talked for a long time. Did you see any man that you like at the dinner feast today? Jiu stared blankly at him and shook her head. I am not sure. I was not paying attention. Jiusha's mouth twitched twice. This girl was only paying attention to Feng Ruqing. He had organized the dinner feast for nothing. Me for extra chapters. Actually, I think young Master Zhong is quite good. Although the Zhong family is not very strong, young Master Zhong's temperament is good. He also has a good personality. Oh, young Master Zhao is also quite good. Please put down that thing in your hand first. I really will not snatch it from you. One Jiu looked at Jiusha suspiciously. Really? Really? He was the manor master of Tianshan Manor. How could he just snatch away his daughter's things? Besides, that was just a piece of paper. He did not need to do that. Oh, okay then. Jiu was relieved. She had taken a lot of her father's treasures. Therefore, she thought her father would want to take something from her this time. Jiusha saw Jiu's relaxed face. He frowned. This little devil really thought of him as someone who would snatch other people's things. Jiu was relieved. She loosened her grip on the paper in her hand. She carefully placed it on the table far from Jiusha. She slowly walked toward Jiusha. Seeing Jiu acting weird like this, Jiusha really wanted to know what Feng Ruqing had written to her. Thus, he quickly stepped forward and grabbed the paper that was on the table while Jiu was not paying attention. Father, you said that you would not take it away. Jiu's eyes widened in shock. My dear, since you treat this paper like a treasure, I want to see what she has written to you. Suddenly, Jiusha paused and stared at the paper in his hand. He was dazed, dumbfounded, and shocked. This? What is this? If one took a quick glance at it, it was merely a prescription. However, there was food in it. Did Feng Ruqing simply just write something for Jiu? Father. Jiu was nearly exploding with rage. Before Jiusha regained his focus, she quickly grabbed the paper and held it close to her chest as if holding a treasure. You promised me that you would not take it away. You have broken the promise. Well, I just want to take a look. What is this? I don't get it, Jiusha asked with a flush of embarrassment. Can't you read this? It is written very clearly on the paper. This is a prescription to condense spiritual qi. Jiusha was rendered speechless. He was completely lost. Jiu shot Jiusha a warning gaze. She was afraid that Jiusha would take her treasure away. Previously, I have lost weight after consuming the herbal dish from Paramount. The herbal dish prescriptions from Paramount belong to Xiaoqing. As I have always been overweight since young, I could never cultivate like ordinary people. Hence, my cultivation is lagging far behind. Xiaoqing has given me this prescription so I can make a breakthrough faster. A fat person could never cultivate as there was too much fat in her body. Not to mention martial art, the fat would block the spiritual qi from entering the body. Hence, none of the warriors was overweight like Jiu. Every cultivator strived to keep their bodies in shape. They might be slightly chubby but never overweight as it would cripple their cultivation. Jiusha held his breath and then breathed rapidly and shallowly. An herbal dish that could speed up the cultivation was many times better than the spirit herb itself. Me for extra chapters. Oh dear, I did not see it clearly. Can I take a look again? This time, Jiu had walked away without looking back at Jiusha, as if there was a bandit behind her. Only when Gue had left the main hall, she turned around and said, "You can take the rest of the gifts. No one can take away Xiaoqing's gift." Jiusha dumbstruck by Gue's words. He could feel as if someone had taken her daughter away from him. He did not speak any further and merely heaved a sigh. However, when he thought of Feng Ruqing, he knitted his brows together. Not only did Feng Ruqing look stunning, she was really something. She was Jiusha's type. Most importantly, Gue liked her. It was a pity that Feng Ruqing was a lady. Ever since Tan Shuangshuang had stepped into the Mu family, she thought she would be the ugly duckling. However, Chen Qingyang was too vicious. Apparently, Tan Shuangshuang was no match for Chen Qingyang. Hence, Mu Ling had locked Tan Shuangshuang up although she was pregnant. Fortunately, the Mu family did not have many descendants. Hence, Mu Ling cared for Tan Shuangshuang's child and had released her after locking her up for a few days. He had even tasked a few servants to take care of her. Tan Shuangshuang's hard times were over. As of now, her life was a bed of roses. Moreover, the old master's birthday was around the corner. No matter what the old master's health condition was, the birthday celebration must go on as planned. Otherwise, rumors would arise among the people of the Tianshan Manor. Currently, Chen Qingyang was busy preparing for the birthday celebration. She had no time for Tan Shuangshuang. Hence, simply no one could stop Tan Shuangshuang from bossing everyone in the backyard of the Mu family around. The only thing Tan Shuangshuang was dissatisfied with was that Mu Ling had never touched her since she had stepped into the Mu family. At this time, outside the Mu family's herb chamber, Tan Shuangshuang paused with the help of a servant. Her hand was stroking her pregnant belly, her eyes were squinting at the guard in front of her. "I was frightened a few days ago. The physician said that it might affect my baby. Hence, I am here to get some herbs. I am the young manor lady of the Mu family. Am I not allowed to do this?" Tan Shuangshuang, too, had always been pretended to be gentle and kind to win one's heart. However, she was smart. Previously, she had done that in front of Liu Yuchen and his father. Currently, she only did that in front of Mu Ling. As the person before her was merely a guard, she did not even bother pretending and simply wielded her the power of her status. No one is allowed to enter the herb chamber without the young manor lady's command. The guard's face was as nonchalant as steel. As Su Yi was not staying in the Mu family at the moment, the young manor lady of the Mu family was Chen Qingyang. "It's Chen Qingyang again. She is just a concubine like me. Why could she command the people of the Mu family while it is as if I am just taking shelter in the Mu family?" Tan Shuangshuang's eyes darkened. After Tan Shuangshuang had given birth to Mu Ling's child, she would definitely step out of this charming middle-aged lady's shadow. As men easily get bored in relationships, Chen Qingyang had been staying with Mu Ling for so many years. Mu Ling must have treated Chen Qingyang as his kin and had gotten used to having her around. Hence, all Tan Shuangshuang needed was time. She could be the master of the Mu family sooner or later. Tan Shuangshuang had lost to Feng Ruqing back then. She would never lose to anyone else again. 1 inch impregnant with the young manor master's child. If anything happened to his child, who should bear the consequences? Tan Shuangshuang narrowed her eyes as she smiled, coldly. The guard frowned. Even if they held Tan Shuangshuang in disdain, she was indeed pregnant with the Mu Ling's child. If anything were to happen to Mu Ling's child, he would definitely kill them. Me for extra chapters. "Is there any prescription from the physician?" the guarded asked, nonchalantly. "These are the spirit's herbs that I need." Tan Shuangshuang took out a paper and handed it over to the guard. The guard did not say anything. He merely took the paper and walked into the herb chamber. "Here you are." After a while, the guard took out a box from the herb chamber and put it into Tan Shuangshuang's hands, coldly. In a spasm of rapture, Tan Shuangshuang stretched her arms to take over the box. Her heart pounded with excitement. They were grade 4 spirit herbs. An ordinary person could hardly obtain them in his whole lifetime. Feng Ruqing never would have thought that I could come so far after leaving Liu Yuchen. Haha. Tan Shuang let out a boisterous laugh, tears streamed down her face. One Feng Ruqing, I have the Mu family behind my back. If I give birth to a son, I would be the master of the Mu family. By then, who do you think you are to compete with me? Although there were 2 young masters in the Mu family, Tan Shuang had only met the second young master, Mu Shi. The other one was like a taboo and no one in the Mu family had ever spoken about him. Perhaps, Chen Qingyang had forbidden everyone in the Mu family from talking about the eldest young master. Hence, Tan Shuang did not know who the eldest young master was. Moreover, he had not returned for years. Perhaps, he had been disowned by the Mu family. Mu Shi was a good-for-nothing. Besides his stunning face, his strength, talent, and personality were not up to scratch. I am so brilliant. Naturally, my son will not be inferior. With the Mu family behind his back, who could outshine him? Tan Shuang took no notice of Mu Huan. No matter how brilliant Mu Huan was, she was still a lady. The Mu family had gained a strong foothold in this realm. Mu Huan could never helm the Mu family. Ultimately, Tan Shuang's son would be the manor master of the Mu family. Seeing Tan Shuang beaming with pride, the servant behind her grew increasingly disdainful of her. What is the young manor master thinking? Not only is Lady Qingyang gentle and kind, she treats the servants so well. The young manor master has actually brought a lady back into the Mu family and broken Lady Qingyang's heart. This lady is so shameless to break up a couple. A loud noise sounded. Tan Shuang paused. She turned her head to look at a courtyard in bewilderment. Xiao Liu, who is there? Xiao Liu did not respond, a hint of disdain flashed in her eyes. The courtyard was remotely located, but not the slightest bit desolate. It was a beautiful courtyard full of peach trees. Tan Shuang had been staying in the Mu family for quite some time, but she had never been to that beautiful courtyard. She had never met anyone else besides Mu Ling and Chen Qingyang. The second young manor master. The old master has lost his temper not long ago and did not want to see Lady Qingyang. Hence, he has moved in there to stay with the second young manor master. Perhaps, the noise just now, the old master has lost his temper again. Mu Shi was the second young master of the Mu family. Hence, the second young manor master was Mu Qingyin, Mu Ling's younger brother who had had poor health since he was little and had never stepped out of the Mu family. Tan Shuang was not interested with Mu Qingyin. However, when she heard that the old master of the Mu family was staying in the courtyard, her eyes lit up. She knew that the old master disliked Chen Qingyang. If she could keep in with the old master, she might be able to gain a foothold in the Mu family. Me for extra chapters. Hence, Tan Shuang disregarded the servant behind her and walked into the courtyard. It was March, thus, the peach trees were in full bloom. A young master could be seen sitting in a pavilion surrounded by peach blossoms. It was so serene and quiet, forming a striking contrast with the rowdy surroundings. Tan Shuang could not help but stop in her steps. Although Mu Ling was stunningly handsome, he was aged. His head was covered with grey hair, even his sideburns revealed his age. The young master before her was so young, noble, and stunning. Tan Shuang thought that Mu Ling's younger brother Mu Qingyin was in his 40s. Tan Shuang held her breath, her hand grabbed tightly onto the corner of her robe. She did not take a step forward for fear of disturbing the young master. Of all the young masters Tan Shuang had met, only State Preceptor Nanxian could outshine this young master's physical appearance. Even Liu Yuchen was no match for him. She could not even compare Liu Yuchen with him. The young master before her was so noble and lofty like a white fluffy cloud. On the other hand, Liu Yuchen was like a mound of dirt contaminated with earthly dust. The young master too noticed an uninvited guest, Tan Shuang. His gaze shifted from the book and fell on Tan Shuang coldly. He could tell who the lady was at first sight. It was the concubine that his elder brother had brought back to the Mu family. In fact, Mu Qingyin had seen Tan Shuang since the very first day she stepped into the Mu family. He was reading a book at a corner and saw the whole incident of Chen Qingyang confronting Tan Shuangshuang. Brother-in-law, seeing Mu Qingyin looking at her, Tan Shuangshuang staggered. Since this young master was Mu Ling's brother and Tan Shuangshuang was Mu Ling's concubine, it was natural that Tan Shuangshuang called him brother-in-law. Mu Qingyin frowned slightly. After a while, his frowning brows softened as he got up slowly. It seems that there is another Chen Qingyang in the Mu family. Excuse me? Are you comparing me with the vicious lady, Chen Qingyang? Who is she to be compared with me? You are just a concubine. Who do you think you are to call me your brother-in-law? A concubine is like a servant in the Mu family. There is only one young lady in the Mu family, but that is neither you nor Chen Qingyang. Mu Qingyin smirked. Mu Ling's taste was declining ever since Suyi had left the Mu family. The lady he had brought back was worse than the previous one. Mu Qingyin did not want to stay with Tan Shuangshuang any longer. He turned around and walked toward the place where the noise came from. Tan Shuangshuang clenched her fists tightly. She narrowed her eyes, her gaze was fixed in the direction where Mu Qingyin had left. Not long after, her face quickly changed, a soft smile hung on her lips. In Liu Yun Kingdom, Liu Yuchen had fallen head over heels for Tan Shuangshuang. Liu Fuyong had gone against his wife because of her. Currently, even Mu Ling had become her husband. She would never believe that this good-for-nothing who had never touched a woman before could escape her clutches. Even if Tan Shuangshuang could not be together with this elegant and lofty young master for the rest of her life, she had experienced the sweet time with a man. She could never forget how aggressive Mu Ling was in bed. However, Mu Ling had never slept with her ever since she had stepped into the Mu family. She was longing for someone who could fill the emptiness in her heart. No doubt, Mu Qingyin was the best choice. Me for extra chapters. In the courtyard. Butler, don't stop me. I want to look for Suyi. He promised me that he would bring Suyi back. It's been a long while. Not only has Suyi not returned, but that vixen is also staying in the Mu family. Burning with anger, the old master slapped the butler across his face. The butler's heart was filled with sadness. Not only did the old master was disorientated, his strength was declining. How could the old master go out to look for Suyi? Although the courtyard was remotely located, it was a paradise on earth. Ever since the old master moved into the courtyard, his health had improved. He no longer got tired easily. Manor Master, Chen Qingyang is not in the Mu family recently. As your birthday is around the corner, she is getting a gift for you and has left the Mu family a few days ago. It had been a long time since the feast in the chief manor. Everyone knew that Mu Ling and Chen Qingyang were kept out of the chief manor. Not long after that, Chen Qingyang had left the Tianshan manor together with Mu Huan to prepare the gift for the old master. In fact, Chen Qingyang could just get the servants to prepare the gift. However, Chen Qingyang was too sketchy and insisted on preparing it on her own to show filial devotion to the old master. Mu Ling was so touched by the things that Chen Qingyang had done that he wanted to give her the entire Mu family. It was true that when Chen Qingyang was not around, the old master had come back to his senses. However, his bad temper was getting worse. He insisted on moving into the remote courtyard and staying with the second young manor master. The butler told the old master a few times that Chen Qingyang was not at the Mu family, but the old master did not trust him and refused to stay in the same courtyard with Chen Qingyang. I don't trust you. That lady is so mean. Every time I see her, my head hurts. I feel better staying with Qingyin. My headache and drowsiness have departed ever since I have moved here. I don't want to go back there. The old master snorted. The butler furrowed his brows. He could feel something was wrong but he could not tell what it was. Xiao Qingyin, it has been a while since I have met you. You have grown up so fast. I still remember that you were just a little kid before. You are so tall now. The old master saw Mu Qingyin and got up and moved toward him, hurriedly. He held on to Mu Qingyin's hand, his eyes lit up. Manor Master, are you out of your head again? The butler was rendered speechless. Father, I am turning 30 in another half year. Mu Qingyin smiled, helplessly. How time flies. You are turning 30. What about your wife? Why don't you get married? Mu Ling is such a bastard. He has always been bullying Suyi. Xiao Qingyin, since you have a good temperament, I could ask Suyi to divorce Mu Ling and marry you. Hearing this, a flush of embarrassment rose to Mu Qingyin's face. Father, Suyi is not just my sister-in-law, she is like my elder sister. If she knows of this, it would be so awkward when I meet her. Fat. Both you and Mu Ling always had me worried. The old master was burning with anger and pushed Mu Qingyin away. You truly have no sense of gratitude. You are getting old, but are still not getting a wife. I would rather have a daughter like Suyi than having both of you as my sons. She is so considerate and cordial, but my sons would only make me angry for extra chapters. Father, I am not in good health. I don't know how long I could keep up with this life. I don't want to trouble others. Mu Qingyin sighed. I don't care, I want a daughter-in-law. You could either marry Suyi, or get a wife who is as good as Suyi, gorgeous, kind-hearted, strict, and good at cooking. Father, if you don't bring me a daughter-in-law, I will starve myself to death. Mu Qingyin wanted to say something but the butler stopped him. Second young manor master, the manor master is like a child now. When he throws a tantrum, he would listen to no one. You just have to listen to him. But I can't, second young manor master, the manor master's health has declined. The physician said that he may not have much time left. If you don't want to get married, could you please persuade Lady Suyi to come back and meet the manor master even if she doesn't forgive young manor master Mu Ling? Every time the manor master loses his senses, he keeps murmuring about that turkey soup that Lady Suyi cooks. He had been doing this for more than 10 years. When would Lady Suyi bring young Master Nanxian back to the Mu family? When Lady Suyi was here, she had been so gentle and patient with you. Could you please beg her to come back by begging? Perhaps she would relent and listen to you. The butler pretended to wipe off his tears as he sighed. Mu Qingyin did not say anything. When Suyi left the Mu family, he was still a teenager. As Mu Qingyin did not have a mother since he was little, Suyi took care of him and treated him so well, just as if she was his elder sister. Hence, when Suyi left, Mu Qingyin cried and held onto her leg to stop her from leaving together with Nanxian. However, he was an adult now. How could he do this again? Otherwise, you could bring a wife back to the Mu family. As long as the old master is happy, he might recover. Forget it, I will persuade sister-in-law to visit father. Mu Qingyin was rendered speechless. No matter how Mu Ling treated Suyi, the Mu family was Suyi's home for the rest of her life. Even if she was no longer Mu Qingyin's sister-in-law, she was still his elder sister. She must return so Chen Qingyang could no longer boss everyone around in the Mu family. I will leave Tianshan Manor to look for sister-in-law. I would persuade her to come back, but it's her own choice. I can't force her. Mu Qingyin smiled, wryly. Mu Qingyin could not help but agree with the old master. The old master walked up to Mu Qingyin, grabbed his hand and put a snowy white jade into it. Startled, Mu Qingyin did not know why the old master had done this. Bring this treasure along with you. You could give it to Suyi or Nanxian. However, you must not tell that bastard Mu Ling otherwise, he will take it away and give it to that vicious lady, the old master said, carefully. The people in the Mu family were too mean. Father, Mu Qingyin tightened his grip on the jade. Xiao Qingyin, the people in the Mu family are so vicious. I only trust you. I will always trust you. Could you just call me Qingyin and not Xiao Qingyin? I am turning 30, Mu Qingyin said, stunned. The old master disregarded Mu Qingyin's words. Xiao Qingyin, you must bring Suyi back. If she refuses, you tell her that all the villains in the Mu family are bullying me. I don't have much time left. If she does not return, they would bully me to death. Father, do you want to frighten sister-in-law, me for extra chapters? I don't care, if you don't do as I said, I will stop eating and drinking. The old master snorted as he stuck his nose up in the air. Second young manor master, it is true that the old master loses his senses. However, He knows very clearly that the young manor master Mu Ling wants young master Nanxian to come back, as he wants young master Nanxian to do something for him. Young master Nanxian could never helm the Mu family. The butler subconsciously tugged at Mu Qingyan's hand. Hence, the old master gave the jade to Mu Qingyan in the hope that he could pass this jade to Suyi and Nanxian. Mu Qingyan held onto the jade tightly. He knew that the jade a pledge from the old master. As the Mu family was huge, there were too many people in the Mu family. Hence, the people in the Mu family would never believe in someone easily without a pledge. Just like the emperor would pass the throne to the heir together with a testamentary edict. Otherwise, no one would submit to the heir. Father, I understand. The old master might seem to have lost his senses, but he actually had a clear head. Mu Qingyan coughed. He could feel bloody sputum stuck in his throat. However, he did not spit it out, as he did not want the old master worried about him. Mu Qingyan did not say anything before he turned to walk out of the courtyard. Tan Shuangshuang was dumbstruck by Mu Qingyan's words. However, she quickly regained her focus. She had a new scheme now. She did not go and look for the old master. Instead, she wanted to get some new robes for herself. As the saying goes, clothes make the man. The Mu family had only provided Tan Shuangshuang with sackcloths and did not allow any tailor to make any robes for her. Hence, she could only get some new robes from the fabric store out there. She knew that she could never seduce Mu Qingyan with her current clothes. In the courtyard of the Qin family, Chenna, a voice spoke from behind him. Qin Chen paused but did not turn his head around. With his back facing the lady behind him, his face was extremely cold and nonchalant. Qin Fei closed her eyes gently. A smiling face of a young master flashed through her mind as if countless swords were pierced into her heart. Her heart was dripping with blood, her face was ghastly pale. Qin Fei thought that Qin Chen had always treated everyone coldly. However, he smiled so brightly at someone else. Chenna. Qin Fei opened her eyes and walked toward Qin Chen, slowly. You know it very well, father is mad about the things that you have done the other day. You leave the Qin family very often, recently. I am the one who has coaxed him. I told him to treat you better as you have gone through a lot of struggles. Qin Chen listened to Qin Fei quietly, his face was still nonchalant. I have truly made some mistakes and I feel sorry for Laya. It is natural that she is still mad at me. Chenna, I am your sister. Tell me what I have done wrong to you. Why are you doing this to me? Qin Fei smiled, wryly. What have I done wrong to you? Why are you so cold to me? Qin Chen was different before he had left the Qin family. Previously, although Qin Chen had never smiled at Qin Fei, he would never distance himself from her. Qin Fei waited for Qin Chen's response for a long while, but he did not utter a single word. Suddenly Qin Chen's words flashed through Qin Fei's mind. It was the things that he had said when he returned to the Qin family. He had been extremely cold to Qin Fei since. Me for extra chapters. Chenna, is it because I want to get into the Mu family? I like Nanxian. He is so ethereal and otherworldly. Who doesn't like him? What is wrong with that? Qin Fei's eyes were full of sorrow, her voice cracked. You must have thought that I have no dignity or respect for myself as I want to be someone's concubine. You will understand this when you have found the lady whom you like. You would not hesitate to give her everything that you have. What was wrong with being Nanxian's concubine? As long as Qin Fei could stay together with Nanxian, she did not even care if Nanxian did not make her his wife or concubine. In fact, Qin Fei had met Nanxian before. Although she had only seen the grown-up Nanxian from painting, she had met Nanxian years ago when Nanxian was still a kid. However, she could hardly forget him. Outside Tianshan Manor, Nanxian was only 8 or 9 years old back then. However, he was not afraid of confronting many people of the Mu family. He was so imposing, like a god, and the people before him were just like ants. Qin Fei could never forget him since. When the people of the Mu family had sent her a painting of Nanxian, who was a grown-up now, she could not help falling for him. She liked him. What was wrong with that? She did not care what the people out there said about her. She had no dignity. Well, what of it? Since Qin Chen was Qin Fei's brother and had distanced himself from her as he cared for her, why did he not understand her? Chenna, I know you like the lady Feng Ruqing, but I am your sister. I will stand by you. If she truly likes you, I will beg father to let you marry her. Qin Fei was burning with jealousy. It felt like an army of ants was nibbling on her heart. However, she held back the jealousy because the person standing before her was Qin Chen. If marrying Feng Ruqing could ease Qin Chen's anger, it was not a big deal for the Qin family. Perhaps, if Qin Fei could touch Qin Chen's heart by doing this, he would no longer be cold and distant toward her. After all, Qin Fei owed Qin Chen too much. Qin Chen did not say anything. He merely walked past Qin Fei and did not even spare a glance at her. Qin Fei stood, dazed, on the spot, watching Qin Chen leaving. She could feel a sense of sorrow lingering in her heart. Qin Fei lowered her head and smiled wryly. Perhaps, Qin Chen was upset the moment Qin Fei had chosen to set her dignity aside and accept the arranged marriage. It was all right. Qin Fei knew that Qin Chen would understand her someday. When he truly loved someone, he would not hesitate to sacrifice everything for her. Moreover, the chief manor had called off the arranged marriage. Hence, the Mu family had no other choices. Qin Fei's father would not let her be Nan Xian's concubine. She would be Nan Xian's first wife. Qin Fei did not notice that there was a turquoise bird resting on the tree branch above her head. After Qin Chen had left, the turquoise bird soared into the air and disappeared in the distance. Even if Qin Fei had seen the bird, she would never have noticed anything different about it. In the courtyard, Qing Han was resting her head on Feng Ruqing's lap. Mother, Emerald is back. Seeing the turquoise bird, Qing Han broke into laughter. She got up and raised her finger so that the turquoise bird could rest on it. Emerald was the name of the turquoise bird. It was named after its color. The turquoise bird was the most common spirit beast that could hardly cultivate. Emerald, have the people of the Qin family been bullying Uncle Qin Chen in the past few days? Is Uncle Qin Chen my biological uncle? Qing Han blinked as she asked. Chirp, chirp. Me for extra chapters. Emerald kept chirping for a long while, but Feng Ruqing did not know what it was talking about. Qing Han seemed to understand what the bird was saying. She turned her head to look at Feng Ruqing. Mother, Emerald said that originally the villains of the Qin family were mad, but Qin Fei had convinced them otherwise. Hence, no one has punished him. Feng Ruqing frowned slightly. Was she wrong? Qin Fei was really treating Qin Chen so well? Mother, Emerald is here to tell us that it would return to the Qin family to collect more information. Emerald 2 and Emerald 3 are still in the Qin family. Mother, is Uncle Qin Chen your biological brother? Feng Ruqing pursed her lips together and did not say anything. Unlike Hua Xia, there was no paternity test to determine whether Qin Chen was Feng Ruqing's biological brother. Although there was an ancient blood test that could verify the blood's familial affinity, it was not reliable and was prone to error. Moreover, the Emperor and Empress were not around. There was no way to do the ancient blood test. It would be great if there is a way that could affirm the blood's familial affinity directly. Feng Ruqing reached out to rub her aching temples. As Feng Ruqing was not sure of the relationship between Qin Chen and herself, she had never told Qin Chen about this. Fortunately, Qing Han was capable of communicating with the spirit beasts after she had woken. Hence, Feng Ruqing had used some divine spirit fruits to recruit some minor spirit beasts to collect information for her. Even if the ancient blood test was not reliable, there must be someone in the Qin family who knew Qin Chen's actual identity. Hence, Feng Ruqing could start investigating from the people in the Qin family. Mother, when will father come home? Qing Han rushed into Feng Ruqing's embrace. I have no idea. Feng Ruqing's hand that was stroking Qing Han's fingers halted. She lowered her eyes to stare at the cutie pie in her embrace. Nanxian had always been protecting Feng Ruqing. This time, Feng Ruqing wanted to protect him instead. Hence, Feng Ruqing did not tell Nanxian that she would go to Tianshan Manor. Naturally, Nanxian did not know that Feng Ruqing was here. 1-inch mother, I miss Big Doggy. When will I see it again? Qinghan seemed dejected and spiritless. At this moment, a teenager, Big Doggy, was standing over a boundless ocean. His eyes were fixed on the surging waves. White birdie, where are we now? Where is the island that Tianshan Manor is located at? I am a phoenix. Not a bird. Birds and phoenix are not the same breed. The white phoenix was burning with fury. The white phoenix was right. If one went all the way southward, he would reach the Southern Ocean. Tianshan Manor was located on an island of the Southern Ocean. However, simply no one knew where the island was. It was a vast ocean. How would he know where exactly the island was? The teenager squinted at the white phoenix. He knew that the white phoenix was unreliable. Little did he know, the white phoenix was so ridiculously unreliable. How could he meet Feng Ruqing? Roar. Suddenly, the dragon let out a ferocious howl. The entire sky became heavily overcast. The boundless ocean roared, the waves rolled as high as mountains as if a storm had just swept through. Countless spirit beasts in the ocean were summoned and were rushing toward the teenager. All the spirit beasts stood side by side before the teenager as if worshipping an emperor. They were waiting quietly for the teenager's command. Go and look for a way to the island where Tianshan Manor is located. The teenager was so formidable and domineering. However, his face was still young and stunning. Me for extra chapters. This fellow is a strong opponent. The white phoenix narrowed its eyes as it looked at the domineering teenager. No way. He must not meet Xiao Qingqing so soon. If he wins Xiao Qingqing's heart, how could I be Xiao Qingqing's father-in-law? As the white phoenix wanted to marry Suyi, Feng Ruqing was its kin. No one could take Feng Ruqing away. Thinking of this, the white phoenix's heart filled up with pleasant delight. When the white phoenix met Suyi, she would certainly pay the white phoenix an enormous compliment. Thinking of this, its member stood out from its body. 1-inch well, let these spirit beasts get the way to the island. We can just wait for their good news here. The teenager looked away. Should I leave this fellow quietly? Suyi said that there are many formations on that island. This fellow must not be able to get in there. The white phoenix rolled its eyes. After all, it was only one last step left to get into Tianshan Manor. This teenager was not useful anymore. The white phoenix could get rid of this teenager now and look for Suyi and Nanxian on its own. It could live happily ever after with Suyi, Nanxian, and Feng Ruqing. The teenager's mind was still focused on looking for the island. Little did he know, the white phoenix was already planning to get rid of him. If one could find the island, he would also find Tianshan Manor. Tianshan Manor was like a kingdom on an island in the Southern Ocean. Chapter 853, Meeting Tan Shuangshuang again too. It was isolated from the rest of the world. It was even hidden by numerous formations. No one could ever reach that place. There were many people who could not find their way to Tianshan Manor. That was why they guessed that Tianshan Manor had created a medium that belonged to them. Hence, the people of Tianshan Manor stayed inside the medium. It was what the outsiders assumed. They thought that what could not be seen was true because of the formations. In fact, the founder of Tianshan Manor did not even have the ability to create a medium. But, it was peaceful there on the surface of the ocean. The powerful people of Tianshan Manor could still feel it too. Inside the chief manor, Jiyusha opened his eyes calmly. His gaze fell on the sky not far away. His eyes brightened. It was such a big movement that neither human beings nor spirit beasts were able to produce. There was only one possibility. Only those living things which were born out of the spiritual qi would be able to do so. They were born with the ability to control all the power within heaven and earth. Jiyusha got up from the rush cushion. He smoothed his sleeves and walked out of the cultivation room. The back hill was a prohibited place in the chief manor. It was a secret which Ji-Yusha got to know of when he got rid of the previous manor master. Moreover, only the manor master was allowed to go there. It was pitch dark in the jail that was located in the back hill. A woman whose face was scarred was seated in a corner in the dark. The darkness engulfed the extremely ugly and disgusting face. Ji-Yusha would always be frightened, although he prepared himself every time he went there. It was an indescribable feeling. He had never met someone whose face could be so ugly and disgusting that even heaven, earth, and hell would be shocked. He still remembered the first time he had met that woman in the jail when he had defeated the previous manor master. Her clothes were shabby. Her messy hair covered her extremely ugly face. Both of her hands were even nailed onto the wall. She appeared to be dead, but she did not seem to die. Ji-Yusha had killed a lot of people these past few years. He had slaughtered the entire family who had caused the death of his wife. He did not let any of them go. His hands were covered with the blood of the deceased. But he had never really tormented anybody, even though they were his enemies. He would just end their lives there and then. He did not know the crime of that woman. He did not even know why she was being treated in such a way. He could not endure the sight of her being tormented like that. Hence, he planned to let her go and set her free. Me for extra chapters. But that woman never left. It seemed that she had treated the jail as her home. She would never leave it behind. Girl. Ji-Yusha sighed helplessly. How long are you planning to stay in my chief manor? I don't know what kind of hatred existed between you and the previous manor master. He treated you like this. Now, you're free at last. When will you leave? In fact, Ji-Yusha had been the manor master for 10 years now. That woman simply stayed there resolutely for 10 years. Her body festered and she did not want to be treated by a physician. In the end, her body healed but her face never did. That woman was not ordinary. It had not been peaceful in Tianshan Manor as of late. He really did not want her there anymore. The woman remained quiet. It was just like 10 years ago. Ji-Yusha had never heard her voice. She had never spoken in front of him. She appeared to be a dumb person. Her eyes were dull. He did not know whether she really could not speak or that she thought that they were unworthy of her voice. Girl, I'm begging you now. When are you willing to leave? If not, the others would think that I'm the one who has tormented you in such a way if they find you here in the back hill. Ji-Yusha almost burst into tears. His conscience would not allow such things to happen. You're tuning in to the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.